Hey, I am back, guys. Sorry about that. And let me bring up my stuff here. Boop, boop. Just like that. And I'm back. Bam. Scared you, didn't I? Okay. So, let's get to making a water wheel. The dimensions that I actually was working on this is all based on odd numbers. And that way that I had a central point inside of the water wheel, and you can actually see this, which was the concept piece that I made. You can see I have that center voxel, and that is my center point for everything. So literally there is an exact number this way, there's an exact number this way, all the way around. And basically, when actually creating this here, it kind of defies logic a little bit, but it will make sense hopefully once we get into it, of what we're doing and how we're making it and the reasons why I'm going with an odd number versus doing it with even numbers. It'll come together. So we're going to start out Lolita. I already did the board claim at 7 o'clock, and I'll see what I can do about doing it later on, maybe after the show. But for right now, we're going to be doing this tutorial on the water wheel, and basically I'm going to start out with basically 29 voxels in either direction, this way and this way. And but this is going to be my central point of starting out for this particular build, and I'm going to be alternating back and forth between colors so that you can actually see what I'm doing in the process here. But I'm going to put one voxel on each end like this, and once I get that point pretty much set in stone, we're now going to be making the beams to go this way and on this way, and I need them to be a little bit thicker than a standard voxel, because if I use a standard voxel thickness, when I put in the angled pieces, which normally come out a little thicker, it'll look like it's the same thickness. So I need to use a pretty much a smashed down version of a megavoxel. So we're going to be doing the megavoxel section first, and I'm going to drop a standard prime voxel here, and let's go ahead and change my coloring so you can see this. And I'm going to go back to, let's go to a light gray, if I have a light gray around here somewhere. Maybe not. We'll just go with a tan color. How's that? And I'm going to drop down another prime. I'm going to select that prime, and then I'm going to smooth it down. And basically, we just want something that is mid-range. We don't want it super tiny, and we don't want it too large either. So let me back up one more. We'll go with something like this, which is pretty much almost half size of a standard voxel. Selection tool, copy, and I'm going to paste it on all the corners of this voxel here. So let me make sure I'm lined up. Go into each corner like so. So that I make a megavoxel out of this, like that. I'm going to select this box. I'm going to copy it. I'm going to paste it. And I'm going to paste 3 of these in a row, giving some little space in between each, like this. Then we'll take my line tool and I'm going to go onto the faces, and we're going to smooth this down so that it puts it back to the actual size of a prime voxel. Let me just do that right around 4 to 5 times on each side. Now I'm going to do that on each of the outside faces. We're not going to touch the inside ones for this. And let's do the top for the last part. And I'm going to copy just the center one out. Now, the reason why I don't grab the end ones, because normally the ones that are on the end don't come out as clean as the one in the center for some reason. So that's why I'm using this particular one. Now, I'm going to start pasting this right on the very ends of that section we made earlier. And the overall length that I'm going to be going for is 29 voxels in diameter. So I'm going to be pasting this until I get that length that I want. So that'll be, let's see here, let me bring this back out one more there. So it's 11, and I'm going to be looking for 29. So it's Mr. Bulky? Dan79, thanks for the follow. Welcome to the stream. And I'm going to copy all of these. Copy. Paste. And then I'm going to measure and make sure that I have my 29 in diameter. There we go. We got 29. Now I'm going to come in here and alternate colors so you can actually see what the actual shaping looks like. Like this. And I'm just going to copy that whole row. Copy. Paste. Rotate. And I'm going to drop this down right into the center again. So now we have our cross beams, which is this right here. Okay? Now we need to start working on putting that angle in between the two of them. And as you can see, I've got this angle, and then of course I have these two angles that actually makes the connection in between the two. And for this, I'm going to come here, and I've set this up to where I literally have a work area that has a 15 voxels to that very corner edge, and I've painted it out. And the height of this wall down to that corner edge is 15 voxels. I'm going to take my line tool, moved up to 1, so it's literally a 2 by 2. I'm going to click that top edge. I'm going to bring it down and get this thing lined up and paste. So now I have this 45-degree angle. Now if I come in here and let me change my color here, you can see I have a pretty clean 45-degree angle. Alright, so now if I grab here to here, what I'm looking for is basically a 10 by 10 section here. So if I go back to my paint, I'm going to paint this pretty much as far up as I can. I should just about do it. There we go, 10 by 10. And I'm going to copy that section. Just that one line section on 1 voxel thickness. So when I paste it out, it looks like this. Okay, let me come in here and I'm going to paint that last one like so. Alright, so let's grab this one. We're going to hit copy, paste, rotate, rotate it onto the side, and I want that sharper point to face inwards like that. I'm going to bring this up. Hopefully I can get this thing kind of set up to where I wanted it. Something about like that. And then I'm going to paste it in. And it kind of messed up my shape there, so let me back out. Paste. And I'm probably pasting with air, which is not what I'm kind of gunning for. Shift click and remove paste with air. That way it doesn't mess up my little beams this way. And I really wouldn't worry too much about these other points over here. These other 2 points or how the center looks, don't really worry about that too much, because the main point is to make the quarter section, and then we're going to basically rotate that quarter section all the way around. We've made the other sides just to know where our beginning points and end points are for when we go to do the rotation. It's easier to line up. So we have now pretty much the section between here and here. So all we have to do now is we're going to copy out from here to here. We're going to copy that and bring it off to the side. Find me a little place to put this down. So we have that. And from here, I'm going to grab the endpoint to the endpoint here. And I'm going to copy just that one little section. And this is going to help me make sure that all my stuff's lined up. So I'm going to paste it. Rotate, rotate, rotate. And then we're going to, let's see, I'm trying to remember how I did that. I think it was mirrored. Flip. There we go. I was somewhere in there. Just wanted to make sure all my stuff was kind of lining up, and it looks like my angle is off just slightly to where it should be. I think I need to bring that angle out. So let me Z back out of it. I'm going to come back over here, grab that copy. Copy. Paste it back in, rotate, rotate. But this is probably the more important part of it, is getting this lined up exactly where we want it. Something about like that might do. And I can work with the ends. So I think that might actually do it a little bit better. So let's try this again and make sure my stuff's lining up correctly before I go crazy on it. Yep, that looks a lot better. See, it's lining up in line there. And now that I've got this kind of pasted in here, I'm just going to copy this side here, copy, paste. Actually, let's grab the good side. Copy, paste, rotate. Drop it down, paste in. Paste. All right. So now we have an actual 45-degree angle in there, so it's going to come out a little bit easier. Yeah. And now we can copy this. So let's copy that. And we're going to be doing some cleanup work in the process, but getting that angle in there is probably the more important thing versus anything else. And I'm going to copy this one section here on the end. We'll copy that. I'm going to paste, V to mirror, tab, V to mirror, and then I'm going to put this section right on the end of it. If I can get this thing kind of lined up. Actually, let's take this one. Copy, paste. And this is going to kind of drop that angle in just a hair so we can kind of work with it a little bit better. And that should just about do it. Now let's grab this end piece here. Let's copy it. Paste. And let's bring this off to the side over here so we can kind of play with it. Alright, so this is the angle we're actually going to be working with to actually get these off angles put in between this point and this point here. So we have this. Now, when you're putting these in, you can't just, you know, put a line up here and it's gonna, you think it's gonna come out perfect. It may or may not. So I'm gonna come in here and I'm gonna put these angles or these cross beams like this in here, like that, to select that top section. And then I'm basically going to fill that in. Let's go up one voxel, like that, and then I'm going to fill that in. And then we're going to basically do kind of the same thing here, 2 voxels. Bring this out and fill that in. So this is basically what we're going to be working with to create that angle. And if I take my line tool now, I can click here, come up to the top. Oops. Click once there, bring it up to the top, shift click to go into adjustment mode and make sure that it's sitting flush on that bottom side like this, and I'm going to hit my checkbox. And this way we can actually bring out just this angle, because this is all I want, is that one angle piece here. Copy this, just that section there, and let's actually reduce this one so I'm not grabbing this one voxel there. I don't need it. And this right here should be okay, so let's copy that. Let's go back over to our little test bed area, which is this V, and it looks like I've got some bad voxels in there. You see how when I copied it out, it looks all distorted. It's all good. I got one good side, so I can take this other one, take that one good side, put it up against the bad side, paste again. Now if I grab that same selection, copy it, paste it, I come out with a good one. So it's nice and clean. So now let's bring this back over here and let's start our little rotation. And let's get this put into place. Should be pretty much on it here. Why is it not coming out the way I wanted it? I think I know why. I'm off by one voxel. That's okay. So let's back up. This point is not out far enough, so let's come back down, put those voxels in, and we'll redo our little line piece. Go back to a 2x2, click, come back up here, and click. Select just the pieces we need, and rinse and repeat. Copy, paste. I'm getting a bad section there, so I'm just going to put the good side to the bad side, click, and then copy out the first one. Copy, Control C, and paste. Let's rotate this again and see what we come up with. That looks a lot better. So now that I got that piece in there, I'm going to click, and now we need to mirror. Basically, we got to play with our rotation till we get it right. Okay, there we go. That looks better. So now we've got it in there, and we're going to paste. So now we have our little angle pieces kind of going on, and it looks like I got an extra voxel there. So let me see if I can delete that one out. I could probably put a 45-degree angle piece in there. So let's go to our tools here. Let's go to a slope, shift click, bring it up into the air. Let's rotate it onto the side and check. Copy, paste, pop that in there. Now if we look at this right in here, you can see I'm getting some buckling where it actually is pulling the voxels kind of in a weird shape. We're going to have to work with that to clean it up. Okay? And I've got some other pieces over here that looks like they're starting to deform. That's okay. I can just copy these two right here, copy it, paste. Fix that one. But the overall shape is what we're kind of after. I wouldn't worry too much about the voxel shaping itself, but it's that the actual shape here that we're kind of after more than anything when actually creating this thing. So when we go to actually start doing the rotation, it comes out looking clean. Now, on this corner piece right here, I want to take my add tool, and let me go back to my square, close my shapes, and right here I'm going to hold shift and click, and I'm going to drop this prime right there in that little corner piece right there, and I'm going to hit check. And there is a reason why I'm doing that, because if you noticed right here, you see how that kind of buckled out, but it also removed this one. Now if I come in here and I fill that gap up, shift click and drop another here, I come out with a very clean looking point right here. Now I'm getting a little bit of artifacting in there, but we can clean that up as well. Bring out my line tool, and I'm just going to double click it and drag it across in a few directions like this to kind of clean up that surface, like so. Now my actual points are actually coming out really clean now. Right here at this point, you can see where it's actually doing a little strange work kind of going on here. If I go back and copy these voxels here, I'm going to go ahead and repaste them on the end. See if I can get this in here. Looks like I still got a few bad voxels in there, so let me grab some really clean ones off the original, and we'll repaste that in there. There we go. Just to kind of clean it up just a hair. But there is basically our beginning shapes. Now let me come in here and we're going to paste every few voxels so you can actually see the shaping that has taken place in this process of making this these angles. Missed it there. There we go. So there we go. That's basically the shaping that we've created in the process of making this thing here. And now it's really simple. We just copy that. We come back over to our original piece that we started on here. We paste it in. And we just overwrite all the stuff we had here. Now I'm going to have to delete out this end voxel. I'm going to come back and just paste over everything that we did before. And so there's one. Rotate once. Paste it in. Rotate once. Paste it in. Rotate once. And paste it in over here. So there we go. We have the actual shaping of our water wheel. And it's pretty darn close to what we had for this over here that I showed earlier. This actually probably looks probably even cleaner than my original. So, but there's a reason why I wanted these prime voxels in these corner pieces, because it makes it a lot easier when you're putting in the paddles this way. Okay, so now that we have that pretty much set up, we can kind of work to the next section of it, right? So let's grab, I've got a bad voxel right there, and I'm not sure why, but let's go ahead and fix that while we're here. Let's copy this, paste. Let's go ahead and just make sure our voxels are coming out the way we want to before we start going on to the next section. Take a good look at them, make sure they're really clean. We don't have all the different corners look the same is what we're after.
Mr. Booker?
Lady Death 8, thanks for the follow. Welcome to the stream. And I'm going to grab this whole section, and we're going to move on to the next part, which is getting this thing erected, getting it up. Yeah, it's like Viagra. All right, so let's get this thing vertical, and I'm going to rotate this here so you can actually see the original into the background. And let's get that thing up in the air. We're going to click once, and when we're putting down the next section, I don't remember the exact thickness that I made this other section, but you can make this thing pretty much as wide and as big as you want to from here. But we want some space in there, just because, well, we wanted to make it look cool, right? So let's get this thing back lined up. Let's get this thing, I'm going to make this a little bit bigger width-wise than what my original was, just so we can kind of work with it. Alright, so the next part is actually getting the little center point all the way through it, and the reason why I had that center voxel created like this is for one big reason. Now I'm going to create a, let's see, what was it, a 3x3 or was it a 5x5? Let's go with a 5x5 on this, and we'll just smooth it down as we need it. So I'm going to make a 5x5, but the numbers have to be odd for this side and this side. Don't worry about the length of it. We're going to take that and we're going to fill that in like so. I'm going to drop down that top section one voxel, bring up the bottom section one voxel like this, and then we're going to start smoothing. Okay, and you can see where it's starting to kind of break at the bottom here. We back up one, and we're going to stop pretty much right about there. Actually, let's go a little bit smaller than that. I think it'll look better if it's smaller. So let's go ahead and smooth it down some more. There it is. There's my little break point where the corners start coming apart. So I'm going to hit it just to where the corners break apart, and then I'm going to copy out the center section. I think that was what I was looking for, wasn't it? I think so. So we're going to grab one of these center sections, something like that. Control copy, Control paste, and I'm just going to start stacking it. And this is pretty much making us our pillar that we're going to be working with. Something about like that. Let's go ahead and make this a little bit longer. Make this thing pretty long so when we pop it in there, it'll kind of go all the way across it. And I think that should just about do it. So let me go ahead and clean up some of my stuff here so I have room to work a little bit. I'm going to delete that out. Let's grab this whole thing. And you can see the actual area that I have actually created here is now a 3x3, even though I started with a bigger size. It was because of the whole, smoothing down process here. So I'm going to Control C to copy, Control V to paste. I'm going to rotate this, tilde, tab, bring it onto the side there. And I'm going to bring this up. And by it being an odd number, I'm actually able to line this up right in the very center here. And I'm going to push this all the way through, like so. Shift click so you can actually see what I'm doing here. I'm popping it right in that center. And let me get up here so you can see this. You can see that center voxel is right in the very center of this space here. And this is kind of what I'm after. So we're going to pop this in right about here. Make it kind of even. Paste error without voxels. Make sure that is unchecked and click. And it kind of distorted just a little bit, but that's okay. I'll show you how to fix that. You can see I've got little voxels that kind of disappeared on me around this thing. In the next section, we're going to be using putty voxels to fix that, okay? All right, so let's come over here, and you can see I have my putty voxels down into the earth here. I'm going to grab that. I'm going to grab one of these black ones, copy, and run over here, and bam, just like that. Get up in here, and we're going to start putting putty voxels in those spaces that kind of just disappeared on us. Pretty much all the way around for all the places that it just disappeared at. And we're using putty because we don't want to mess up the actual center pillar that we just put in there. And so there's one. And there's one. So we finished that all up. So we have a really nice design work kind of going on in there. And I got one side done. So let's go ahead and grab this. Copy it, and then we're going to paste it onto the other side. So there's one. And paste. Why did that mess up my voxels? I am mad. Okay, back up. See? Ah, that's why I'm off of voxel. There we go. Pasted that in, and now we have that whole thing kind of set up. So now we have the wheel section all completed, and now we're going to go in there and actually start putting in the paddles. And as you can tell, I got this one voxel that I put in between them, and I'm going to grab this one and drag it over to here and hit my add tool. There's one. Come over here, grab that one to here, paste it in. Grab the top ones, do the same thing, like so. Pop. And to the other side, and fill that one in as well. It's starting to look like a Ferris wheel, right? You could probably make one of those out of this as well. It's all good. It's whatever you want it to be. Now I'm going to come in here and I'm going to paste 2 right here on that side and 2 on this side. Grab that back one to the front one, hit the add tool, and I can probably speed this up even more than this because I can probably just copy that end piece and just mirror it onto the other ones. So let's go ahead and do that. Copy, paste, tab, mirror, get this thing in line, paste, and from here rotate, bring it down to the bottom, paste, go up to the top, mirror, bring it down, paste. Now this is where it kind of starts to get kind of tricky and really a big pain in the butt, because how do you get something that looks like this to come over here? Right? Trust me, it's not easy. But we put in these little angle pieces earlier, these 45-degree angle pieces, and if I Control C to copy that, paste, bring it down, and I'm just going to put them in a row like this, all the way down. You can see I'm kind of forming up that paddle just a little bit, and I'm going to mirror upwards. Come over here and we're going to paste down this way. And then on the back side we're going to have to pretty much do the same thing. Bring it down and mirror, tab, mirror, and we're going to go in a line here. So now we have our angled paddle kind of going in there, and you can see it kind of distorted it a little bit here on the side. It's not too big of a problem. Let's take our line tool, 2x2, and just drag it across a little bit, just to try to smooth it out just a little. It'll distort it a little bit, but it's all good. It's all about just trying to get that look probably more than anything. And we could probably come in here and play with these end voxels, but the overall look right now is not that bad. So let's go ahead and let's grab our section from here to here. Actually, let's just grab that corner down there, and it'd probably be better just to work with the corner itself. So let's just copy, paste, mirror, get her into position, click, and it looks like it deleted one of my voxels because I was mirrored in a different direction. It's all good. Let's back out of it. Let's do this. I think we're just going to do that whole side instead. That way everything kind of comes out the way it's supposed to. Control C to copy. Escape. V. And start rotating this thing. V to mirror, paste, tab, V to mirror, tab, tab, V to mirror, bring it down to the bottom, and paste. So now we're pretty much done. We've got pretty much everything we need to actually make our little thing. Now I do have this little section here that I kind of brung out. That is created just by grabbing this center section here to here, copying it, pasting, and just bringing it outwards. One voxel, bring it down, paste, and then we'll come over here and we'll paste it again on this side. And it comes out looking pretty darn clean because we've already pasted that center pillar in there already, so it comes out with a very sharp cut going all the way around it. Now it's just a matter of painting it, and from here we can just grab our textures and start going at it. Now, I'll tell you what, let's just do this. Let's just grab the whole darn thing and paint it all one big solid color so you can actually see what we've actually created here. Let's bring this over. But you can paint it pretty much however you want, but there's the pretty much end product. We've got a water wheel now, and kind of up to you on how you want to do it. But what I did here was I literally just dropped it into the water and I pasted it into the water without air, so literally it sits down in the water. And I made these little water drops. Made it look like kind of like it was spitting out the water, and I tried to break up the water just a little bit, and that's just by putting voxels down onto the water and selecting that area and smoothing it, right? Okay, and of course I put in the bricks, and then I just painted around it with grass, so it made it look mossy. It looked like you had all this moss stuff all the way around, just to kind of give it something extra. Now, to make the water, give me a second now. Let me grab my texture here. If I can grab water, come on, go. Alright, still not able to grab water for some reason, so let's go over to water. Now to create the water drops, what I did was I just took a selection, bring this up, fill it with the water, and I'm going to take my delete tool and come in here and cut sections out like this, and just alternate between a few of them here, so you got different size of like little protrusions coming down. And we add one more back right there, so I got something like that. From here, I'm just going to grab everything but the very top voxel, bring this down like this, and I'm going to smooth it. And it just comes out with these really kind of odd little shapes here, and you can kind of play with it afterwards, however you want to do it. And just kind of touch this up a little bit afterwards. And that's pretty much the process of making the water drops, at least, and that's kind of what I have over here. But they look pretty cool coming off of your water wheel. But voila, water wheel.